Okay, so we're here to talk about CrossFit. I'm here with Camille, head trainer at his brand new gym, Crossfit Aldgate. Camille, I'd just like to introduce yourself and then we'll start talking about what is CrossFit.
Sure. First, obviously, welcome here. Well, a little bit of background from me. Well, I did wrestling, freestyle wrestling, for about 20 years. That was my basically main sport for a long time. And basically, after I finished, I was looking for something to do and something which would obviously keep me going and keep me in a good shape. And I found basically CrossFit. I still remember when I was actually watching DVD where there was kind of documentary about the first CrossFit Games. And it was very inspiring. I remember there was Chris Pila and Kalipa and these guys were basically competing. It was very inspiring. It was literally like at that point the CrossFit was very, very low key and it was somewhere on a ranch. So, but since then, it was about 2 or 3 of us watching it. We said we need to try this, and so we did. So we found the first CrossFit gym in London and went there and we started obviously doing it, and really kind of grabbed me for sure.
Okay, so here we are now. So you talked about the CrossFit Games, which is, for many people might not know what that is.
Okay.
We'll start with the basics. So if a new person is going to look into CrossFit, if you can explain how CrossFit works, the systems,
yeah,
and maybe some benefits.
Sure. So basically, CrossFit is something where you use the functional movements throughout the workouts, and CrossFit is basically anything what life can throw at you, you should be able to deal with, kind of thing. So whether it's you need to throw, you need to lift something, you need to carry something, you need to run, you need to swim, you need to bike. Basically, in CrossFit, you are trying to get prepared for anything. That's what I like about it. You can always learn new things, you can always develop basically different areas, and that's why it grabbed me, because I like the variety in my training. Before, when I was doing, let's say, only strength training, it can become boring to do always just squats or just the deadlifts, but there is no element. Like CrossFit has also other elements which are very catchy. Like, for example, you can compete against your colleagues, against your friends, against even people in the whole world, because these days you have everything online. So this is interesting. You can compare, and also CrossFit has like benchmark workouts. So you got, let's say, Linda, like they call it obviously by female names, like Linda, Frey, and Cindy, where you can compare, because everyone does it exactly the same way, like everyone using the same weight, everyone using the same reps, and so on. So you can easily compare against others. So I'm quite competitive. So for me, it works very well, that aspect. If you are a complete beginner, it's also for you, because what we do at CrossFit Aldgate, we first give you like a free session, so you can try free session, which is with very, very basic movements, like everyone can do, stuff like maybe press-ups, few squats. But once you get the feel for it, and if you would like that, you would go through foundation course first, which first month, you literally learning the moves, so you're learning the elements of CrossFit. So we wouldn't just throw you straight away to workouts and high intensity and all that, no. First you need to start to learn the basics, like how to squat, how to deadlift, how to move. And also learning that really big importance of the mobility, to make sure that you can actually do those movements, whether you have the mobility in place. So that's a very important part as well.
So definitely, if you're, say, a beginner level, or someone who's seen CrossFit, is interested, you're saying it definitely caters for all levels?
Yes, it definitely caters for all levels. I must stress that it's very important to have a good coach. So obviously CrossFit is always coached. So this is another aspect which I maybe didn't mention, but it's always coached. You don't just come to gym and train on your own unless you already been doing CrossFit for a while, and then you know what you're doing, and then you can practice on your own. But when you start, you are joining obviously the coached classes, where you've got coach always looking at you. It's usually smaller classes. Here we will probably around 8 10, maximum 12 people eventually. And we will have 1 or 2 coaches. So basically I can always see what's going on and I can always correct people and stuff. So I think everyone needs to go through the stage where he's learning, which is the foundation, and even after foundation, first month, when we start to obviously doing the normal classes with them, we still coach them, we still look at things. So there's always something, there's always new cues, there's always new things to develop. So
I think for some of the viewers who think maybe they can do some of the stuff at home, we're in CrossFit saying you have to sort of come in and be coached. You work with big groups, and CrossFit is not so much about the individual, but more, say, competitive environment. So what sort of, before we talk about the classes, a bit more about the numbers you can expect if you're coming in.
Yeah. Okay. First of all, I want to say that it's not only competitive. It's only competitive if you want it to be. This is how I see CrossFit. So if you are very competitive, you can compete with me or like other people who like to compete. If you're not competitive, you don't need to go to maybe competitions. You don't need to really compete with others. You don't need to put your name on the board if you don't want to. If you're not worried about competition, it's absolutely fine. You go through training and you do it just for yourself. That's fine as well with me. You know, I'm not gonna push you. If you would be the member and you would come here, I would not push you. You have to compete with us. Like you have to compete and maybe represent us or compete within a box. It's up to you. You're doing it firstly for yourself. That's firstly you do it for yourself. If you want to compete though, there is that element. You can compete. But if you don't want to compete, I'm happy that you just going through the workout. You're doing everything right. You know, so it's not the peer pressure. You know, like I don't want in this box to really like people to push people into like you have to compete. Okay, so second thing, what is good about CrossFit is community. You know, obviously community is really good. I would like to know everyone who comes to this box. You know, obviously I want to create very good atmosphere here. Very good atmosphere. That's very important. That like people feel that everything is friendly, supportive environment.
So definitely talking about the benefits so far is community. Can be competitive. Can be for all levels. So not to be put up by that at all.
Yes, to come back to those levels as well, is that we have, let's say for example here we're doing like 3 different levels, which is called basically scaling. We are calling it scaling. That means that if I can do muscle up and it's in a workout, I can do muscle ups. If you can't do muscle ups, but you can do, let's say, chin ups and dips, you can do chin ups and dips. And third person who can't do even chin ups and dips on rings, for example, will do ring rows and we'll do, let's say press ups on the wall, maybe against the wall or maybe against the ground. But you can scale things down, and that person still can obviously kind of compete with me because we are still doing the same numbers, you know, the same reps, and we go through the same time, but you completely doing a scaled down version to me, for example.
I think this is great. I think stress the importance of regressions and progressions for anyone watching, no matter what it is you do, whether it's CrossFit or just working out at home. It's important to have these progressions. That is definitely, I'd say, a massive positive for CrossFit. So you talked briefly, you said about some of the workouts you can do. You know, workouts of the day is something associated with CrossFit quite commonly. So let's talk a bit about workout of the day and what that is.
So basically, workout of the day is basically mostly meaning, you know, the session which is programmed for that day. And whether you are coming in the morning, lunchtime or evening, you basically hit that session because that session has been programmed. Basically, we are doing also programming. I know CrossFit is very well known for constantly varied kind of programming, but we do programming a little bit more wisely, I would say. We definitely go through certain periodizations, especially CrossFit consisting of Olympic weightlifting, strength training, and gymnastic movements. Okay, so Olympic weightlifting or strength training, you need to do some kind of periodization into it. So obviously those ones are, which is more maybe varied and completely like is maybe random, or it's the last kind of portion of CrossFit workout, which is the metcon, which is the metabolic conditioning, and this one is obviously aiming mostly to get you fitter, to have better stamina, and also to get better strength endurance, for example. So this can be really varying. Like this can be long metabolic conditioning workout. It can be short and very intense. It can be weights. It can be just body weight. It can be gymnastic movements. This can really vary, and I can throw at you whatever. I can get you to flip tires for 5 minutes, and then you need to, I don't know, maybe you need to do some squats, or you need to do some pull-ups. So this can be a little bit varied.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you program your own workouts of the day.
Yeah.
And I know bits about CrossFit, but even myself, I don't know too much about there's lots of names for these workouts.
Yeah,
Fran, I think is the most common.
Yeah.
I know what Fran is, but anyone watching this who doesn't have a clue about these names associated with these workouts.
Yes. So basically, there is a name and there is the exact specific workout which anyone can do in the world. Okay, so that's a good thing. If you talk to CrossFitter, like in New Zealand, over the phone on Skype, and you say I did Fran in like 4 minutes, he knows exactly what you're talking about. You just say I did Fran in 4 minutes. Obviously, unless you're talking about girls, he knows exactly what you mean.
Okay. So
And then he will tell you, okay, I did Fran in like 3.5. Okay, and you know what you're talking about, and that means that name Fran stands for certain workout which is specific, which we're talking is 21 reps of pull-ups, thrusters. Thrusters is obviously, I can show you later, but this is the bar going out of the front squat overhead, and you do 21 on each, then you do 15 on each, and you do 9 on each.
Yeah.
And who does it faster? Obviously you got faster time. So they are specific. And then you got Cindy, different one. Again, you got different set of exercises, but you know what you're talking about. You just say the name. So I guess it's easier to obviously identify with the workout.
yeah. So this is the community aspect, perhaps talking about again.
Yeah.
If you are competitive, then
Yeah.
compare your times at anyone, anywhere.
Yeah. What I find, most of people are competitive.
Yeah.
Some people are more than others, but everyone likes to see how fast he can be, whether he can improve, even if it's just competitiveness against himself. You did for free, like let's say, first time you did it, it took you 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Next time you do it in 6, then you do it in 4.5. You can see the improvement. Even that is a little bit competitive because you are competing against your own time, but you can compete against others.
Yeah. I would say it's for competitive people, in my opinion, largely. But we discussed it can be for anyone coming in. And if you're not competitive, maybe you can develop the competitive side. Competition, so that's number one. If you're coming in, you have aspirations. I heard all these regionals, certain competitions at certain levels. Now, how does competitions work in terms of CrossFit? CrossFit Games, if anyone doesn't know, would be the pinnacle.
Yes, that's basically like Olympic Games for CrossFit.
It's a competition for anyone who does want to compete.
Yeah.
What's the
so,
starting levels for this?
Yeah, so for example, it used to be much easier, but now because obviously CrossFit grew massively and you got loads of people interested into this, you got a lot of people who can't just join the competition anymore. You have to go through the qualifiers now. Okay, so you need to go, let's say there are 3 workouts, all of us have to go through it to get to the certain stage. So for example, last year was Battle of London, which is called, this year it's called, next year it will be in January, and it's going to be called the Athletes Games. So for example, for this one you need to qualify. So it's literally happening right now as we speak. You got 15 days to submit 3 scores of 3 different workouts, and only top, I don't know how many exactly, but I think top 100 will get to the actual competition, or maybe 150. So you might have, you might have across Europe, you might have, 2,000 people trying to get for this one competition, but only 100 or 150 people will get into it.
Yeah.
Also though, in CrossFit now that you start to have like different age groups. So for example, this year first time I I got lucky and my age group is there, so it's 35 to 40.
Oh, you didn't have to say. You didn't have to say age group on camera, but
Yeah, and then you go obviously 40 to 45, 45, 50. So actually, it's for really everyone, because people might think, oh, I'm 43, I have no chance to compete against like 27-year-olds. Okay,
that's good.
now you have, because in CrossFit you got not only different levels, but you got obviously different levels of age group as well. So basically, it works. It works, and much more people can actually join rather than just the fittest completely.
Yeah.
But also
so
fitting
again,
in.
catering for
Catering bigger groups at different ages.
Just starting off, and you want to compete, give it a go.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
don't be put off by.
Yeah, absolutely.
At any level.
Yeah, and it's the same with, for example, the games. So the games has like three different stages. Okay, so first one is open anyone. So you usually have like, I don't know how many thousand people. We're talking many times 7,000 people globally.
You didn't have to say age group on camera, but
Yeah, and then you go obviously 40 to 45, 45, 50. So actually, it's for really everyone, because people might think, oh, I'm 43, I have no chance to compete against like 27-year-olds. Okay,
that's good.
now you have, because in CrossFit you got not only different levels, but you got obviously different levels of age group as well. So basically, it works. It works, and much more people can actually join rather than just the fittest completely.
Yeah.
But also
so
fitting
again,
in.
catering for
Catering bigger groups at different ages.
Just starting off, and you want to compete, give it a go.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
don't be put off by.
Yeah, absolutely.
At any level.
Yeah, and it's the same with, for example, the games. So the games has like three different stages. Okay, so first one is open anyone. So you usually have like, I don't know how many thousand people. We're talking many times 7,000 people globally.
Yeah.
Sorry, 7,000. Much more. I think it's much more. Anyway, a lot of people basically entering the competition, and it's open level. So you got, I think, usually 5 weeks, and every week you have different workout.
Yeah.
Okay, which you need to submit, which needs to be judged, by someone, or you need to record it by video, and someone else will be judging it. Basically, you can't just do it on your own and say, I did this. Someone has to judge it. You have to submit the score, and many times you have to record it as well. So it's kind of properly done. It's not just you can say whatever. After open, you've got another stage. Once I think maybe the top 60 from Europe. So you've got different regions. You've got Europe, USA, you've got Australia, Africa, and so on. So from different regions, you get to next stage, which is regional, and only I think top 60 from regionals. So for example, from Europe, only top 60 will get there. And once you get top 60, only top 3 will get to the actual games. So you've got open, regional, games. Okay? So that's the stages. But I would say that's probably one of the hardest competitions to get to, obviously. But you got now, these days, you've got so many local ones, so many UK ones. UK is organizing many competitions. So if you are someone who only starting, you can start competing relatively early. As soon as you learn the movements and everything, maybe within 4, 5, 6 months, you can maybe try one smaller competition within UK, and there might be some which.
That's how many.
Sorry.
That's how many.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and get you to be able to say it without interrupting you. Sorry.
Sorry. So how many was that?
209,000.
209,000. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
How many people are involved these days in CrossFit?
Yeah, definitely. Say CrossFit is growing massively. I think it comes with some of the criticism which we're going to come on to shortly.
Mm-hmm.
Before we do that, workout of the day. What is your favourite workout of the day?
Well,
And explain it.
yeah. So workout of the day. I like variety first of all. That's why obviously CrossFit kind of grabs me. I like the workout 7s, for example. It's quite grueling and stuff, and it can be long. It's quite heavy for what it is, and it's definitely strength endurance type of workout. So I'm more strength kind of orientated CrossFitter, not so much on the gymnastic and endurance side. You got different CrossFitters as well. So some people prefer lifting heavy weights and stuff, and some people like, loads of reps with, let's say, body weights. If they are lighter guys, they can do a lot of chin-ups, burpees and stuff like that. I'm more with the barbell, and so that's why 7s is you got quite a lot of. So for example, 7s means that you got 7 rounds of 7 exercises, doing 7 reps on each exercise. for time. Okay, so those 7 exercises are, I think, handstand push-ups, thrusters, burpees, pull-ups, kettlebell swings, deadlift, barbell deadlift, and there's one more. It might be toes to bars, actually. It might be toes to bars. And I like it because it really tests you. It really tests your strength endurance. So that type of workout I would prefer. And then one which I really aspire to do very soon is King Kong.
Okay.
And King Kong is literally, it's basically presenting your skills and your strength. Because in King Kong you got 4 exercises. Okay, you got deadlift, you got clean, you got muscle ups, and you got handstand push-ups. So handstand push-ups and muscle ups are representation of your gymnastic skills and strength. And deadlift is like, I think if you do it really prescribed, it's about 216 kilos to do one. And you got, I think, you got 2 muscle ups, and then you go for 3 cleans with, I think, about 115 kilos is a clean. You need to do 3 of them, and then you go for 4 handstand push-ups, and you do it 3 rounds for time. So it's literally, it's more like it's almost like a presentation of skill.
Yeah. Okay, so that's for anyone looking, might sound a bit too much for some people, which is one of the criticisms labelled at CrossFit, that it's a lot of discipline. For someone who's just starting off, it's too much. We know we talked about regressions and progression, so one criticism is it's too many disciplines and programs sometimes.
Yeah.
Too much work.
Yeah.
So other criticism of, it's floating around at the moment. People lift with poor form.
Yeah.
They can hurt themselves.
Yeah.
And maybe too much branding involved in terms of Reebok. If anyone doesn't know Reebok, I think the main sponsor of CrossFit.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just thrown a few at you there.
Yeah.
If you like to give your feedback.
Yeah, sure. So for example, in terms of poor form, okay, absolutely agree. Here at CrossFit Aldgate, or every time I teach someone, I always say, always quality before quantity. So which means always make sure your form is good before you are chasing the reps, before you are chasing the time, So if I see someone who is chasing the time or chasing the reps, he's going fast on something, and I can see the form is poor, I stop him there. Stop him right there, look. Quality before quantity. Every time, make sure your form is right before you start competing, before you start to do movements fast. You have to make sure that your movement is actually going well. And once you're losing it, you have to take a break. Okay, so no matter like how much you want to win, if your form is dangerously poor, you can even get injured or something, you have to stop. You have to regain, you have to probably need to get a few breaths, you need to probably recover a little bit to go back to it. You can't keep going with poor form. So that's one thing.
Big lesson.
Definitely.
Anyone out there?
Yeah, it's massive. I'm a massive proponent to make sure that you do things right. Second thing, yes, I'm not eating, or drinking the CrossFit Kool-Aid completely. I'm not 100% in agreement with CrossFit, everything what they do, or all type of programming. There were a few, let's say, workouts which I didn't like on open, which is literally done by headquarters of CrossFit. I didn't like it because certain workouts I wouldn't. For example, there was one workout I think 2 years ago where you did burpees and you were going snatches up on weight. So I think it was like you do 30 burpees, you do 15 snatches with 45 kilos, then you do another 20 burpees and you do 15 snatches with 60 kilos, then you do another 30 burpees and you do 15 snatches with 75 kilos. So you're more and more fatiguing, more and more you're breathing fast, and the snatch is going up. Yeah. Okay, snatch is, to me, is one of the most complex, complicated, or I would say it's really demanding on timing. Yeah. It's very fast lift, very fast lift. It's very demanding on the nervous system. And when you are in fatigue state and you go up on weight, it's just not right to me, for me. Okay. So there are certain things which I wouldn't program, which I wouldn't advise to do. That's why I said it's very important which box you are actually attending, what coach is there, and to making sure that he knows what he's talking about. You know, he knows what are the basic principles, to be honest. Because snatch is power movement. It's fast lift. Yeah. Snatch never has been really, especially not heavy, or especially not going up with the weight, where you're trying to literally reach the limit of your, you know, it's gonna be bad form. There's gonna be some bad form if you do that.
So we're saying choose the box you go to wisely.
Absolutely. Make sure that the coaching is good.
Yeah, coaching is good. So we're saying box a lot. For anyone who doesn't know, CrossFit box just means the gym.
That means gym. The fitness facility. That means
no, we talk about box a lot. We didn't explain it, I don't think.
Yes.
Rather than people just thinking about sitting in a box.
Yes.
We talk about the gym itself.
Yeah. That's how we call it. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely programming wisely. So we talk about a lot of difficult skills, and you would, as a coach here in CrossFit Aldgate, would program differently, just depending on the person.
I've been around, just to say, I've been basically personal trainer for 8.5 years here in the city. I've done just the sport competitively. I was lifting myself, or I was doing strength training myself for many years. I studied. I have all qualifications through Charles Poliquin or UKSC. You know, I've done other courses. You know, and I'm always trying to learn. Always reading. Always reading or listening to other coaches. You know, you try to keep up with like whatever is up there, and therefore I just think I have certain experiences now to see what could work and what I wouldn't really recommend. You know.
Yeah. So again, anyone can come in and do it. It will be safe.
I think
here
yes. I think yes.
One of the things was the branding, which you skimmed over. The Reebok. Do you have to wear these the Reebok socks? Have the shoes?
To be completely honest, I'm not very much aware of this, because I just didn't look into it much about this branding. It doesn't interest me much, because if you look at me, okay, I haven't got. I have no Reebok shoes. These are minimalist shoes which I like. I don't think you have to have Reebok gear and stuff. I mean, people like to obviously have it because it's kind of associated with Reebok, but also some of the Reebok stuff is very nice stuff. It's very nice clothes, but you can wear whatever brand you want as long as it's good for fitness, you know, and make sure that it's obviously stretchy and you can move well in it.
It's important to say, I think, it's not what you're wearing.
Exactly.
It's about the programming you've got here and
coaching,
the workouts, the coaching itself.
Yes.
It's good to wear some Reebok stuff here, but
yeah, I mean, it's nothing wrong with Reebok. A lot of Reebok stuff is great, you know. It's
Reebok is not the be-all and end-all of CrossFit, but it takes some really nice stuff, so it's good to wear. But you would advise anything that's certain shoes would be better than others.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You don't have to have CrossFit stuff.
No, you don't have to have Reebok stuff to do CrossFit. Yeah, that's for sure.
Okay, good.
So we're gonna. Is Adam around?
Yes, he is. Yes. I think we're done with this, isn't it?
Yeah, we're gonna close it off.
Okay. Just a second.
Get this down. So we're going to summarise the end. We've been through most of what CrossFit has to offer. You can be a beginner and come in any level. We're talking about catering for any levels. Dispel some of the myths or the criticisms. It all depends on the coaching and the coaches such as Camille. Would say it's for anybody. If you are competitive,
great.
It's great, fantastic, but don't be put off
if you're not.
If you're not necessarily.
You can train for yourself.
If we work out today, and Camille's going to put me for a little workout after this, so I'm going to give it a go. I haven't done too much in the way of CrossFit myself, so I'm really excited to give it a go.
Cool.
Make you sweat a little bit, not too much.
It will be very interesting to see how you go. You are a strongman.
Yep.
I know that. So and you're very strong. So we will see how you
see
will
how
actually
you
go
are.
through the.
Just so you can see some of what we talked about, some of the exercises, just a small workout, which would be good.
Very small workout, but it will definitely put you through the paces because it's more strength endurance. It's lighter weight, but you will be going through it a little bit faster.
Yep.
And making sure your form is right.
He's going to make sure my form is right. He's going to put me through. I'm going to get a sweat on. So I'd say thank you, Camille.
But thank you for coming as well.
Thank you. You feel free to come out and try CrossFit Aldgate. When is it opening, Camille?
It's opening literally tomorrow, which is Wednesday the 19th.
Wednesday 19th of November. Where are we based?
We are based right in the heart of the city on Houndsditch, 117 Houndsditch, and it's literally next to Gherkin, Heron Tower, if you know Aldgate, you know Liverpool Street is very close, so we are very central.
Okay.
Check our website, crossfitaldgate.com, obviously.
Yeah.
You can find out a little more
I'd like to
information
say
there.
be the best at average, so I reckon you're going to go along with that, Camille.
Absolutely.
Definitely train people to be the best in here.
Absolutely. As you can read it, basically we are building the better you.
Yep, building the better you. There we go, have it. See you soon.
See you soon. Thank you. Cheers.